Well, greetings of peace, everybody. This is Dr. LaDonna, and I'm greeting you live from the Globalcast studio here in Chicago. If you are hearing my voice, why don't you share this? Why don't you send a DM? Send it to somebody. Uh, and I just want to welcome you. Yes, for all those joining us across our social media channels, we can now actually broadcast at the same time on Instagram. And I want to say something about that. But if you're just joining me, it's the Global Check In with Globalcast. Globalcast was founded in 2021 and we're super excited to be back again in 2024. If you're joining us on Instagram, joining us on LinkedIn, all our social media channels, Facebook, wherever you're joining us, why don't you just say, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, so we can see you're here. And if you want to say what nation, what country, what location you're coming in from, we would love that. It's a global check in. I'm super excited today because, as many of you know, I have been looking forward to receiving my AfricaAncestry.com package that I ordered before the holiday, and it actually came really quickly. So I do not want to leave the impression that it just arrived. So I'm going to ask you again to please share this to your pages, and I will do the same. And then we'll get into today's segment. How's everybody doing and being? It's quite an adjustment being back in the US after being in Rwanda last year. And we're here just for these several weeks. We are traveling, we're ministering, we're speaking. We're here in Chicago as well as we are getting ready for the launch of our Africa Exhale and Ubuntu Global retreats. And so I just want to, I keep, hold on. I want to share this over on, here it is. Okay, perfect. Um, and so as we're beginning, I have a shout out today. I don't know if you all have been seeing my appreciation posts, but I am just in great appreciation for so many partners. Right, join us and share. And I just want to give a shout out to StreamYard. We are streaming live on StreamYard. I want to thank the StreamYard team for their support. They are amazing. And actually, if you use our affiliation link with Ubuntu Global, which you will find on the pages there, you will receive a discount for signing up with StreamYard. So just want to give that shout out, a bit of Thanksgiving. They didn't ask me to do that, but I'm doing it because I really appreciate the support. Also, I'm sporting my Nelson Mandela t-shirt today. I'm super excited. I don't know where I picked up super excited, but I really am about this season and about this time. And I did something this year that I've been wanting to do a really long time. And that's what I want to talk to you about. I am doing AfricanAncestry.com's DNA test. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute. We're going to unbox my package that came in. But again, if you're just joining us, why don't you let us know where you're checking in live from? Because the more comments that you give us, the more people who can see this. I also want to say, if you are seeing us on our Facebook channels and you give stars, and that goes to support our global reach. Well, we're super excited. I am excited. We are thankful this week. I just got off the line with our Africa team. And one of the people had moved to Uganda. And so I was able to talk to him And it's just amazing that we have these technologies that could connect us across the nation. So I'm bringing you greetings from the Africa team, people from Rwanda, South Africa, now Uganda. Greeting all of our global fam near and far, our Chicago fam. We're glad to be here. So let us know where you're coming in from. And before I share with you my African ancestry updates, I want to just share a few announcements and an invitation to you. And this is just so interesting. Let me see. So, right now we are in the middle of our, let me see. Well, it's not. Well, let me just do this. I want to invite you. This Sunday, we are having our um, journaling for the new year. And a lot of times I think people, well, I do retreats. And the reason why is because I have been mentoring leaders since I was very young at DePaul in my first career, Syracuse University and Loyola University, and have had the privilege to work with justice and peace and liberation leaders, CEOs, all kinds of people. And what I noticed is there's a tendency to be stressed out and burnout. And I was one of those leaders. And so in this part of my life, I'm very dedicated to creating spaces for refreshment. And I've been blessed to travel. We had a refresh conference in Durban, South Africa. We'll be having another conference again, or a mastermind in South Africa again. I've been blessed to be in Rwanda this past year, and we'll be inviting many of you to join us for AfricaExhale Rwanda in February and also May of this year. Um, but we also thought about how can we create space for those who may or may not travel, create space and share tools that can help as we do what we're called to do in the world, but not be stressed by it. And we talk about stress, and we talk about retreat. And sometimes people will say to me, oh, that's so luxurious. You can host these luxury retreats for leaders, but it's really about our health, our wellness. We know when we tend to our rest, our health and wellness, and if we're stressed out, if we decompress, that it affects our health, it affects our hearts, our blood pressure, our attention, our creativity. And so that's what we are about with Ubuntu Global Village Communications, which I am the founder of, and these AfricaExhale retreats. And this Sunday, I want to invite you all to join us for journaling for the new year. Now, if you followed me yesterday, and we're coming on every day at this time this week, I found one of my favorite journals with President Nelson Mandela on it. It says, I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. And we are having a journaling mini retreat on this Sunday. You are cordially invited to join us. We'll drop the links in the chat for you, so that you can join us. You want to register for that today, tomorrow, get your registration in, find a friend, a family member to join you. And you may say, why do I need to journal? Why do I need to journal? Well, very interestingly, just a little bit before this broadcast, I had to sit down and journal myself because I could tell there was something that was bothering me, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. And so I just took 15 minutes and began to journal. And we have certain journaling practices that we do in our retreat that help you to unpack, to decompress, and to address whatever is there. The focus of our January and also our January mini journaling retreat is do more of what you love. And certainly, we're going to be talking about, what is your vision for this new year? what do you need to let go? I'll talk more about that tomorrow because I'm actually inviting you all, and I grabbed some different journals here for you to bring your journal for tomorrow's broadcast, and we'll do some of those journaling questions. But Sunday, it'll be a full on mini retreat. You'll get to experience what our online retreats are about. We also do a healing racism retreat that's really amazing online as well. So I invite you to that. Be sure to sign up. If any of this is speaks to you, you can certainly reach out to us at global team at rev.ladonna.global, and we would be happy to talk to you. I want to get to this African ancestry package. And if you're just joining us, I'm Dr. LaDonna Sanders and Kosi with Ubuntu Global Village. And we are doing a series this week coming on every day at 3 to check in with the global check-in. We're also unveiling our Africa Exhale retreats. And so we are inviting you to join us this year. And our Africa Exhale retreat is taking place in Rwanda, February 27th through March 6th. This is our very special African American History, African Heritage Month experience. And then we also will be having an experience in May 28th through June 5th. So if you are interested in that, you can drop us a line. Also, in the comments, we will post how you can book a call or sign up for those retreats. But I want to get to AfricaNancestry.com because how many of you, one of the things we're talking about this year, a lot of times people have New Year's resolutions and New Year's declarations or a word for the year. Our theme for this month is do more of what you love. And as I was in Rwanda this past year and reflecting on this new year, and I have to say I had a little bit of angst about coming back to the US, which is probably a workshop in itself, but I think I've had about 20 global journeys. I'm a bridge builder, so my assignment is to build bridges across the waters between the US, other parts of the world, and Africa, and to create these and invite these experiences where we connect on the continent, where we're refreshed, renewed, and there's relationship building and mutual exchange and empowerment. And so, as I was thinking about this year, I wasn't really thinking about, well, there is a question I always ask is, what do you need to let go? But as I thought of the year, do more of what you love. And yesterday I was asking, what is it that you love? And so, as I was coming into the new year around December and maybe a little before, I was thinking, what are some things I've really always wanted to do and just have never done them? And let me say, last year I asked that question and I ended up on a plane to Rwanda. I landed January 2nd and I moved there for the year. Essentially, I came back here only for speaking engagements and connecting with family and friends. And so one of the things I thought about was African ancestry. I wanted to do African ancestry. And many of you probably know AfricaNancestry.com. In fact, if you've ever done your African ancestry or your ancestry DNA, type that in the comments. We had a wonderful conversation with our social media community about this and learning. And I went ahead and put in an order for my AfricaNancestry.com. Now I want to say I've been thinking about doing this for years, and I looked online, and AfricaNancestry.com was actually 1 or 10 years old. So that's how long I've been thinking about it. And I think sometimes the things that we love, the things that give us joy, we can put them off, and things that are a problem, a conflict, we'll jump right into. So it's like I've been wanting to do this. In fact, I didn't realize it, how powerful this was, but back to in 2003 or so at DuSable Museum of African American History here in Chicago, there was a festival in the summer. And I know Chicagoans know we have amazing summer festivals. And some of us were there, and African Ancestry was launching. I believe the Africa Channel was there, and Dr. Gina Page, the founder, co-founder of AfricanAncestry.com, we were all just chatting it up, and she was so energized about what she was doing. And that was the time when they were having different celebrities find out their African ancestry. And for me, I don't know why, but in my mind, I just thought this is such a far-fetched thing for me to do. Like celebrities could do it. And so I got it. And let me just cut through the I got it. I'm like, I think I have done, it's probably about 16 or 17 journeys to the continent of Africa, first going to Ghana, and then many, many times to South Africa, which is where I was ordained in 2003, and now to Rwanda. And as I said in the promo, every time I travel, every country I've been to, there's a little girl that looks just like me. And I remember when we were in Ghana and we are going around, and I was like, that person looks like this person and this person, this person. And so I got really excited about this concept, this idea that you could do your DNA and it would tell you, because AfricanAncestry.com, they actually they can pinpoint the people group that your people are from. And so I wanted to be a part of it. So I got it in the mail. It was somewhat of like I hope I didn't just, well, anyway, it was somewhat of like a Christmas present to myself. And this is how I'm living. I mean, and if you come to any of my poetry sessions or retreats, I will talk about that. Life is precious. And as I said yesterday, the world is waiting for us to stand and step into and move into the place that we're called to. So I'm like, let me order this so that when I'm on the continent, I will know. Now, my mother, she got another test which showed regions which she is from, but I always wanted to do AfricanAncestry.com. So here's my package. I won't show all the address and all that, but I want to say, in true fashion of Dr. LaDonna, I was a journalism grad of Mizzou, University of Missouri. So I am a journalist by training and heart, and I always have journals with me wherever I go. Now I have my phone, but African Ancestry have my heart when they have journals on their website. So, I added that in and got a couple journals. This one says, which I love, I have a poem similar to this: remember who you are. And they didn't ask me to do this, but you all know Ubuntu is about I am because we are, and people are people through others. And then I just love this one, African Ancestry. I don't know if you can see it, but the tree at the top and then the roots at the bottom. So shout out and love to African Ancestry, Dr. Gina Page, and also her co-founder, all the staff and team, and just thank you for all that you do. So I happily, everyone, I have my package here. And when you go on there, it's so helpful and self-explanatory what you should order, how you should order. It really does just take a few days. I really did wait to do it with you all. And it says, discover the roots of your family tree and transform the way you define yourself with African Ancestry, the pioneer of genetic ancestry tracing people of African descent. And there's this envelope you get. Remember who you are, which I think is so cool. I actually have a poem called Remember Who You Are. So I waited to open it until you all were here. And then we'll be sharing the results together. And I want to say something about that. Um, let me, oh my goodness. Okay. So you open it here. This is like my second or third unboxing, and this was kind of an envelope. So I don't want to interrupt, but all of your materials are here, the label, and I'll just read this to you. It says, knowledge is power. Learn more about the African ancestry experience. And so it really talks about how they're pioneers in genetic ancestry tracing for the diaspora. And so you get this in your packet. I'm not going to pull everything out because I don't want to interrupt the swabs or anything else. But after we get off of here, I will do the DNA test and then take it to the mail and we'll have this together. Okay. Okay. So, African ancestry. And I want to shout out Letitia Thomas as well because some years ago she told me about how she and her husband purchased these for their family, and then they found out where they were from, and so she began to look into traveling to those places. And then there was another person, when I started to poll people on our social media, it was just some wonderful stories. And you all know I'm a writer, a publisher. I was like, we need to publish these stories or share these stories in some way. One person says she gave her parents these packages and that her mom thought that this was like a cruise or a trip somewhere. And so she kind of chuckled about that, but she talked about how amazing it was to do it. And one person said the hardest part is waiting for your results. So I wanted to share this with you so I will share it together. For me, I kind of have an idea about my parents' heritage, or at least my mom's, because she did the test, not this one, but another one. Um, and I'm not doing it so that I can go to that place where my people are. And that's nothing against anybody who does that. But I have to say, like when I was in South Africa from like 2003 up until 2019, I mean, there were times where I was like, this feels like home. And I knew that. Then when I went to Rwanda, I had a different home kind of experience. And I will tell the story about how you fly from Chicago to Brussels and how I can literally feel when I'm moving um, down and on the continent, I can feel a weight lifting. And I used to think it was just me, but my cousin came to Rwanda and I never told her these stories. And she sat there and talked about how this seemed so familiar, so like home, and that she felt a weight lifting. And so, as a writer, as a scholar, as a Africanist, I find that very interesting. And so I know that Africa is the cradle of civilization. I'm excited to find out this information, and I'm intrigued because I would almost think my people are not from Rwanda, but who knows? We're going to find out. So I've said a lot, but this is, we're moving into this new year with intention, encouraging you to do more of what you love, to do what you're called to do in the earth, saying that the world needs it. And I want to invite you to join me on the journey. And I especially want to invite you. Let me just put these links in the chat. And again, if you're just joining us, is there anyone who has done these ancestry tests, DNA tests before? Is there anyone who wants to do it? Let us hear from you. And I want to invite you all, before we get off of here, I want to invite you to a couple things, and then I also want to tell you a couple things. Let me just make sure that yeah, we have some guests here. So greeting all of our guests who are on here. Let me okay. So I want to say join us for journaling for the new year. We're posting that in the chat. Also want to invite you to join our mailing list. This way you'll get all the invites for our local stateside events. When I'm speaking around the country and around the world, you'll get that. You'll get any conferences we're having next month. We're going to be having our Healing Racism from the Inside Out journaling experience, which you don't want to miss. And we really designed this Sunday's experience as a smaller version of that, really for you to decompress. Um, so I want to say one last thing before we close out. Um, yeah, I want to say that. So let me get these links up here for us. And also, we're preparing. Globalcast is going to have some amazing guests in the season. So we're really excited about that. I want to give you these links and encourage you to please join our mailing list so you can hear directly from us whenever I'm traveling globally. You'll get updates for that. And also, we'll be posting the details regarding our global experience. If you're interested in joining us for Black History Month, traveling to Rwanda, this is a different kind of trip. It's not a trip where you're going to be busy the whole time and then you'll come back and be tired when you get home. This is a relax, relate, release, and dream. And I'll be talking a little bit more about that tomorrow. Relax, relate, release, and dream. But this is you investing in yourself, investing in your dream. Um, and you'll have a time to refresh and connect in Rwanda, experience the amazingness of the people, the place, the landscape, the wisdom that they have learned on their journey that certainly we can learn from. I want to post one more link. I'm just so happy to be here with you all. We've been broadcasting from Rwanda, and it's so funny because anytime I would have meetings like this, it would be in the middle of the night. So now we're in a different part of the world. Let me just share these other links to you if you want to book a call and set up. We're in the office this week and next. So if you are interested in joining us for Africa Exhale Rwanda and would like to book a call, we would love to talk to you. Let me post that here. So the last thing I'll say is we pray about these events that we are having. And um, normally we take the month of January and we have our own retreats, and we don't have a lot of programs, and we begin to have programs around the King holiday and into African American Heritage Month, where I begin speaking. And this year I felt really strongly to create space for a journaling experience. And I know that in the prayers, when I hear to do something, to do it. So I began offering this Sunday. We're going to Sunday evening, Central Time, 5:30 to 7:30. We're going to have journaling for the new year. And let me just put that. And so, it's going to be an amazing retreat. And we've done these before and they have packed out. And when I think about when we did them last and they literally sold out, um, it was during the pandemic around November of 2020. We had two of them in a row on a Thursday and a Saturday. They were all full. And so I wanted to do this journaling for the new year. That's what I heard in the prayer. God said, do that. Now that we're here, oh, here it is. Now that we are here, I see why we're having this. Certainly, we want you to have time to reflect on what you need to let go in order to move into this new year, to write about your vision and your dream for the new year, which will be doing that. But what I didn't really say when I was advertising for this is our journaling experience helps us to get out those things that are problematic for us, that are stressing us out, that we need to process, sometimes without having to tell someone. Of course, you might go to a therapist or see a counselor or your pastor. But I'm just saying, like me, 2 hours ago, when I was like, something is not sitting right with me and I have a break in my schedule, let me sit down and journal and see what it is. And yesterday, right before I came on, we learned that Dr. Claudine Gay of Harvard gave her resignation. And, I read some people's reflections on that today. And one of them, I just want to write back and say, this is triggering. This is triggering. So the things that happen on the news, in the world, to other people, um, it strikes something in us often. And we don't really talk about this, but even the conflicts, the war, the death that's going on in the world, that affects us. I was driving down the street after prayer, and I'm just going along. I'm like looking at the sights. I haven't been in Chicago for a long time. And what I see are these flags, and it's a protest of what's going on. And I mean, I saw them, and in one way, being in Rwanda, I was seeing this on the news, but I'm like, I'm here and I'm seeing Chicagoans, and they're out, and there's the flags, and I'm in my car, and I just burst into tears. Like, I burst into tears. And normally, if I had been among people, maybe I would have stuffed those tears. Maybe I didn't even know those tears were there, but the death of multiple thousands of people is upsetting. And so when I say we're having a journaling for the new year, we're not just having a retreat for you there and we want you to be refreshed, but we want to offer you some tools of how to process all that's going on, because most of you are leaders, your parents, you're leading people. And sometimes when you're leading people, we see this in counselors and doctors and professionals who help others. There's not always space for you to help yourself and unpack. So this is the Dr. LaDonna part of this segment, that this is why we have this for you. And so a few people have written us and said, hey, I'm not available on Sunday. You can actually email us and we will send you a link, or you can book your own time for your own. We'll take you through your own personal retreat. You can book that for yourself. And I encourage it whenever you can. And I just believe in the time we're living in, there's two things. One, you got to do what God is calling you to do in the world. That's key number one, because the world needs it. Number two, you got to be intentional about taking care of yourself. And that's on every level, but also the ways in which sometimes people that help others don't, which is to have, a self-care plan. I know self-care is often overused, but a way to decompress, a way to be able to speak what's there for you that's not feeling right, that's not settling. So I want to invite you to join us for journaling for the new year coming up. We'll be having some other offerings as well. And I am looking for 5 transformation agents, 5 people who are making a difference in the world, 5 of you who are ready to go on an Africa Exhale experience to Rwanda for Black History Month. We'll be leaving on February 27th, and it will last until March 6th. Your first day is a spa day where you literally relax, decompress, and then we'll get to experience Rwanda and have your Africa Exhale retreat, relax, relate, release, and dream. We're also welcoming others of you to join us for May as well. That May date is open, and right now we have a holiday special on those trips. So we would love for you to book a call and let's talk about you joining us on the journey. Yes, someone asked, do we offer these trips for families, for groups, for teams? Yes, we do. So you'll want to just book a call so we can discuss that. Well, this is Dr. LaDonna, and we are coming on each day this week. As I told you, this is a challenge, even for me, to come on. We're excited to be walking with you, unveiling our Africa Exhale retreats. And I thank you for joining me on the journey as I find out my African ancestry information. And I know that will inform me as a global citizen, as a leader, as a global partner in the world. So that's all I have for us today. It has been a joy to be with you. I want to encourage you to be encouraged, to breathe. Usually I say encourage somebody today, but today I would invite you to take some moments to breathe, take a walk, work out, identify what it is that allows you to decompress, de-stress, and re-energize, and then make space to dream because the world needs it. God bless you. God loves you. This is Dr. LaDonna, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. We'll be back tomorrow. Let me say this quickly. Please bring a journal, and we will do a journaling exercise together. So we'll see you tomorrow, same time. God bless. God love. Thank you.